Today I'm cooking with Tammy. We're going to be making a delicious chicken and sausage Creole. So without further ado, let's jump on in, introduce these ingredients, and get to cooking. First one up is our chicken breast, along with our sausages. I'm going to be using kielbasa sausage, turkey by the way. However, if you prefer to use, let's say, andouille sausages, or more of a spicy sausage, you can definitely do that. However, I find that the kielbasa turkey sausage pairs perfectly with chicken. For our other ingredients, we're going to be using fresh parsley along with fresh thyme, diced celery, garlic, bay leaves, okra, along with our bell peppers, both green and red, diced onions, some freshly diced tomatoes, and we're also going to use some Worcestershire sauce along with hot sauce and a pinch of sugar. Chicken broth, diced canned tomatoes, and for our seasonings, we're going to be rocking out with our Creole seasoning along with our Cajun seasoning. However, if you don't have these seasonings on hand, feel free to use cayenne pepper, white pepper, Creole seasoning, whichever brand you have, along with salt and ground black pepper. And without further ado, let's get to cooking. Let's cut our sausages up. You know I like to cut my sausages at a slant. However, rock out however you feel. I find that the kielbasa turkey sausage brings such a great flavor. It's so complimentary. OMG. Don't get me wrong. The andouille sausages are absolutely delicious as well. But in my opinion, there's a time and place for everything. And I know most of you guys are going to be like, it's never a place and time for andouille. Don't get me wrong. Yes, andouille is definitely boss. But sometimes you just got to switch it up a bit and rock out with one or two things. Either with what you have or what tastes even better from time to time. All right. Anyway, our sausages are perfectly sliced on up. We're going to get these sausages in the pan, guys, because we need to work on slicing up our chicken. We're going to start off with adding a small amount of oil to a pan, and we're going to introduce our sausages and allow them to brown on up. Dice this chicken up however you prefer. If you want it in big thick chunks, definitely do that. If you want to keep it like this, you can definitely do that as well. Whatever works best for you is what you're going to do. Let's work on chicken breast number 2. Try to slice it in the same size, because guess what? You want everything to cook at the same rate. All right, you don't want to have one piece of chicken that's cooked all the way through and the other piece is like slightly raw. We're going to season up this chicken, so we're going to hit it with a small drizzle of oil. We're going to also add some Creole seasoning. I'm adding a lot of Creole seasoning because this is a low sodium brand. However, feel free to use whatever you prefer. All right. And even though I know it's Creole chicken, I'm going to add a little bit of my Cajun seasoning as well. If you don't have these seasonings, grab some Creole seasoning or Cajun seasoning out of your pantry. We're going to get in there. We're going to mix it up really good. Make sure every piece of chicken is perfectly seasoned. Sausages are perfectly done. Now that our pot is back up to temperature, we are going to add our chicken, because throughout this recipe, we're going to be using the same pot. Yay! Because of course we're trying to build as many flavors as we can. So using the same pan or pot would definitely grant you your wish. All right? Flavorful, tasty, and delicious. It's about that time. We're going to flip our chicken on over. And basically because of the seasonings, as you can see, our chicken has a perfect caramelization going on. This right here is absolutely beautiful. We're going to toss it around just a bit, make sure everything is well combined. We're going to allow our chicken some additional time to cook all the way through. And this right here, guys, is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely perfect. We're going to get in there, remove our chicken. And of course, I'm going to be using the same bowl. Our sausages are cooked. Why not? You know what I mean? I'm not in the mood today to dirty up a lot of dishes, all right? We're using the same pot and we're using the same bowl that we placed our sausages in. We're going to add our chicken. But in the meanwhile, let's check this chicken on out. Woo! Wow. Place it on down, reserve it for later. Into the same pot, add a small drizzle of oil, only if necessary. And by the way, I'm rocking out with avocado oil. We're going to add our onions along with our butter. Mix it up really, really good. Butter is nice and melted. We're going to introduce our red and green bell peppers. Mix it up once again. Make sure everything is perfectly combined. Once we're done, we're going to add our celery. Let's get all of that delicious flavor intertwined with our veggies. The deglazing process has already started. As you can see, most of everything that was sitting at the bottom of the pan is already mixed in with our veggies. We're going to allow our veggies some more time to saute. So in the meanwhile, let's get in there and get our garlic prepared, guys. Place that knife on top of the garlic, hit it a good bang, flatten it on out. And the reason why we like to flatten out the garlic is because we don't want to play catch-a-roo, on the cutting board with the garlic. It makes it so much easier to chop it on up once it's nice and flattened out. However, if you leave it as a whole garlic clove or a whole garlic bulb, 9 out of 10 is just going to be rolling all over the place. Let's get in there. Let's get our okras. As you can see, these are beautiful. Nice and green, perfectly ready to go. We're going to use a knife. We're just going to get in there, slice it on up. And of course, when it comes to the okras, if you want to leave it whole, you can definitely do that. However, I like to remove the tops and the bottoms. Just get in there, slice it on up in little, bite-sized pieces. However, if you want to leave it whole or slice it in half, you can definitely do that as well. Now that our veggies are slightly softened, we're going to introduce our garlic. Once you're done, you're going to mix it on up. I didn't add the garlic early on simply because I did not want my garlic to burn, all right? Garlic cooks really, really fast. So you want to allow it its own time to do what it got to do. Allow it to get nice and fragrant. We're going to introduce our canned tomatoes, but not just any canned tomatoes. I like to use the fire roasted canned tomatoes. Let me tell you something. The fact that it's fire roasted, it accentuates the natural sweetness in the tomatoes. Not to mention, it also brings that nice little smoky element to all recipes that require using canned tomatoes. I'm going to go ahead and add some additional fresh tomatoes simply because it's going to make the dish taste even better, and it's also going to give it that nice pop of color. So if you have an extra tomato on hand, slice it, dice it on up, add it to our mix. We're going to cover it on down and allow our tomato mixture some more time to cook through. Give it about 5 minutes, give or take. At this point, you know when your tomatoes are ready, because as you can see, it has even more brighter vibrancy. You have that extra pop of color going on. With that being said, it's time for us to add our other ingredients. So we're going to hit it off with our chicken broth. And by the way, if you don't have chicken broth on hand, no problem. All you need is some water along with chicken bouillon powder. Mix it all together and boom, you have chicken stock. Let's add our bay leaves. Along with our fresh thyme. Stir it on up. We're also going to add some fresh parsley along with our Worcestershire sauce. Add that saucy sauce. And we're also going to hit it off with some more Creole seasoning. If your Creole seasoning has a high salt content, definitely scale back on either, let's say, maybe the chicken bouillon or even the actual Creole seasoning. We are almost ready to go, not to mention the aroma right now. Woo, in this kitchen, let me tell you, it smells so good. Because the ground white pepper is really pungent, we're going to add a small amount. Besides, we don't want it to be too spicy, just in case we may have kids, or maybe we just don't like a lot of spice. Feel free to omit it if you don't care for it. And to balance out some of the flavors and combat some of that acidity from the tomatoes, we are going to add some sugar. And of course, the sugar is not going to make this sauce taste sweet whatsoever. It's just going to create that perfect balance. We're going to stir it up one last time, cover it on down. Allow it to come to a slow simmer. Once we're done, we're going to remove the lid, obviously. And we're going to add our hot sauce. Yes, we're going to mix it on in there. And we are going to re-add our chicken and sausages back to the pot. We're also going to add the remaining butter. Stir it on in there. Allow it to get nice and melted. Once we're done, we're going to lower our flame just a bit, cover it on down, allow our sauce to reduce slightly, and I'm going to show you what to do once we come back. After about 10 minutes, our sauce has reduced slightly Check it on out. It looks absolutely perfect. The cool thing about the bay leaves and the thyme stems is once you stir it on up, they're going to make their way to the top and you're just going to pull it out. Easy does it, toss it, discard it, whatever you want to do. Now would be the perfect time to add those okras, but here's one of my tricks and tips. All right, guys, if you don't want your okras to be like slimy and really softened, turn the stove top off. Put the lid back on and allow the okras to just basically cook with the remaining heat that's left inside of the pot. You don't need any extra flame in order to get the job done. And I guarantee you, give it about 5 to 10 minutes and you will have the perfect okras. Not only are they going to be cooked all the way through, but they're still going to have somewhat of a slight crunchy texture and vibrancy going on. And it's not going to be slimy and mushy. Take some of our delicious chicken and sausage Creole, and I'm going to place it into the bowl. And guess what? I am not going to be skimpy. What I really admire about this meal is we took basic ingredients, not to mention price or cost affordable ingredients, and made this beautiful dish happen. I mean, the flavors are absolutely out of this world. It was quick and easy to put together. Not to mention, if you serve it on up correctly, woo! The presentation alone will definitely do it to someone. Trust me. You got the presentation going on and the beautiful taste. Man, who could ask for anything more? Once I'm done, I'm going to get in there, grab a paper towel, clean those edges on up, simply because what? Presentation is key. Get in there and remove that ramekin, and I present to you our chicken and sausage Creole with a bed of white rice. Let's garnish it with some fresh parsley and bam, we are done. Check it on out. Dinner is served. Don't forget to head on over to cookingwithtammy.shop. Get your seasonings. I can guarantee you it's only going to step the flavors up in every dish that you prepare using these seasonings. Also, check out our new arrival, which is our barbecue seasoning. With all of that being said, I'm your girl Cooking with Tammy, and I will definitely catch you in another video. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.